What's up, everybody? Joshua Yell here with Eric Goldman. What's up, Eric?
I'm doing well, talking Star Wars, so I'm happy.
More Star Wars. So, EW, Entertainment Weekly, debuted these Star Wars covers for the new Star Wars Force Awakens movie and a ton of new pictures from the movie and on the set. And we are pretty excited because we found some cool things that we had not seen before. So, we're going to analyze the imagery we've been given.
Yeah, not all the images you should know because there's a lot of them, and some are from scenes and moments we've seen before, but there's a few that stick out. Starting with, maybe our best look yet at older Han Solo here.
Where's the vest?
Here's the thing. I'm a big fan of the Empire Strikes Back jacket look, so I'm all for the jacket. When he went back to the vest in Jedi, I was like, I don't know. I will note, though, same style shirt, same style belt buckle. Han is a traditionalist, definitely. But doesn't it feel like he almost has an Indiana Jones type brown leather jacket?
It kind of does. I know these movies, we kind of know they're all about legacy and stuff, so I'm hoping he takes out the old, dusty, vest and, hands it down to another character.
Ah, here you go, Finn.
He's like, Finn, this is for you. Become the smuggler I could never be.
Right.
Speaking of Finn.
Here's
Finn in his full Stormtrooper gear. We pretty much understand that he starts the movie as a Stormtrooper, and then he sort of comes to the side of good.
Yeah, although we have some questions about exactly order of things. We'll talk about another image in a little bit. Another really good look here, though, at the armor, the new look. I love the little pouch there. I want to know what he keeps in that pouch. So, little trail mix? What do you think he has in there?
First Order standard.
Yeah.
It's got to be a really bad trail mix.
It's like the Death Star commissary.
No, there are no M&Ms in the Death Star
right.
commissary trail mix.
By order of Palpatine, even though he's long dead.
Yeah. So here we have Rey with her staff in her desert gear, and everyone's talking about this staff.
Yeah. I mean, she has it in all the merchandise. She's holding the staff. The poster, she's holding the staff. There's been a lot of talk for quite a while now about the end of the staff and people going, could that be a lightsaber? Does she have a lightsaber hidden in that staff?
It looks like she's a scavenger. So I could even imagine her finding the hilt of a lightsaber and her being like, oh, this is just a piece of metal that would be great for this staff, and her just screwing it on.
Right.
And someone later being like, hey, that's a lightsaber. I don't know. But it does seem a little impractical to have just a steel weapon. If let's say she fights someone with a lightsaber, that's not going to do her any good. So I could see maybe her just defending herself with this, and then maybe later being able to use the bow staff like this would let her use sort of a double-bladed lightsaber, a la Darth Maul.
Yeah, I gotta say, obviously, Clone Wars and Rebels, we've seen multiple characters use a double-sided lightsaber, but Darth Maul's still the only one in one of the live-action movies. The fact that she's got this staff, looks like she's skilled with it, it's gotta be a setup, right, for her to use a double-sided lightsaber.
I would totally think so, yeah.
I'm guessing so. I hope so. And hey,
there's C-3PO and R2-D2. We've yet to see them together in the actual movie trailers, right?
Yeah, we only see R2 the once with what we 99% believe is Luke, the metal hand, touching him. So it seems like they might be separated wherever Luke is, who is obviously the character they're keeping the most under wraps of the returning people. We assume R2's with him.
And the thing that pops out here is, of course, that C-3PO has a red arm, and it's actually funny that Marvel Comics, they've been doing Star Wars comics, Darth Vader, Star Wars, Chewbacca, and C-3PO will be getting his own miniseries where they'll explain exactly how he wound up with that arm. You could assume it got blown off in an accident and it was replaced with a spare part.
They tore it off another droid.
Yeah, and there was another movie. Was it Attack of the Clones? Oh no! What movie was it where he had a different colored leg?
Well, no, he had his silver leg in all three of the original trilogy. I know he certainly did in the original movie. None of the merchandise ever included it, so when kids in the '80s didn't think about him having a silver leg, but he did. So yeah, there's a precedent set for just grab another piece of a droid and stick it on that guy. And 3PO always gets torn apart. That's part of his charm.
And this is an on-set photo. Looks like we have J.J. Abrams doing some stuff with Harrison Ford and John Boyega.
Yeah, and I do love this because there's actually memes and funny videos about the fact that Harrison Ford is known for waving his fingers in different movies. There's people have made montages of the finger of doom, I believe they call it.
Really?
So I joked on Twitter that this is him telling JJ can we get my finger waving in here?
This is where I really wave the finger.
Yeah.
Say, Finn, take that lightsaber you're holding and slash that guy's head off.
Now we're wondering about where they are, right? Because there's a couple different environments this evokes. One is a cantina. So he's like, oh, is this like the let's go to a bar scene? But then there is the whole Maz Kanata of it all.
Yeah, and she is. We don't know much about her character. Is it that she's kind of like a pirate?
Yeah, she's like a pirate leader, and it seems like someone they need to go to for help, whether they like it or not, at some point. I think there's some speculation that in the trailer, when you see them walking into that place that has all those sort of flags and banners, including the Mandalorian one, that's probably her place, and so this might be the interior of that at some point. Also, by the way, you can see Finn is holding his lightsaber here. Is that just John Boyega playing with his lightsaber in between takes, or does Finn need to use the lightsaber in a moment of duress? We shall find out.
And more stormtroopers.
Yeah.
There's actually more going on here than meets the eye. We've got the on the left and the right, we have the traditional First Order stormtroopers, but down in the center there, this looks like this is the heavy gunner.
Yes.
Stormtrooper.
And we can thank merchandise. Star Wars merchandise can help a lot with information. So because the Hot Toys figure is already up for pre-order of the different variants of the Stormtrooper, we know that's the heavy gunner. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, he's like the roadblock of the Stormtroopers.
He's got, of course, the big gun. He's got a sort of like a harness he's wearing, like a pack, and it has some extra ammo.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Just a small variant. Yet another toy they're gonna get us to buy.
Gotta get them all.
And also there's something kind of hidden on the Stormtrooper on the right, just right next to his helmet. It looks like there's like two characters. One looks to be a Stormtrooper, but if you look even closer, one seems to be in a dark costume.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's Kylo Ren, potentially. It looks like on like a helmet. It might be Captain Phasma, but it looks like they're just actually walking up the stairs pretty chill as these troopers lay down fire. So they're maybe doing like the badass walk away.
I think it's the you deal with this, I'll get away.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Kylo Ren because that helmet does have like a kind of Vader shape to it, and Kylo Ren's helmet has a Vader shape to it. So that's probably who it is. I also want to point out that under the legs of that same Stormtrooper that those characters are next to is a mouse droid. We've seen glimpses in other trailers, but the mouse droid, going back to the original Star Wars Episode 4, seen on the Death Star, they're still mousing around the galaxy.
Very important.
Yeah, very important character.
And there we have Finn talking to Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
And this is so interesting for a lot of reasons because, we have Finn here in the Stormtrooper armor. Does he meet him at the beginning, and does meeting Poe Dameron sort of give him that change of heart that makes him want to abandon the First Order and then join the forces of good?
Yeah.
Or is this maybe later in the movie where he because he knows the First Order, he somehow infiltrates, be like, hey guys, I'm back. That sucked that I got stranded on Jakku, and maybe to break Poe Dameron out.
Yeah, because so we've seen there have been some behind the scenes footage showing that Poe Dameron gets caught by the First Order at some point. But I think a lot of us assumed that happens later in the movie. This does leans towards it being near the beginning of the movie, and maybe this is a moment of truth for Finn, who's already having some doubts about the First Order, and maybe this conversation with Poe is what helps him decide I'm fighting for the wrong side. But since we also saw that footage of that they're very buddy later, we saw Poe, gives him the hand on the shoulder when they're looks like they're getting ready for battle.
We've seen these two characters interact a lot, and this is yet another scene. So it looks like they will have some sort of relationship. And I gotta say, out of every mystery about this movie, I'm just so curious to what Poe Dameron, like what his deal is, who he is.
Right.
Is he good? Is he bad? I mean, he's wearing the uniform of the good guys, but something about him just makes me think that he might. There's more to him going on.
Yeah, like what is his full story, and why doesn't he have his own character poster?
Yeah, I gotta know.
Yeah,
I think he's a bad guy.
I don't trust him.
I sense the dark side with this one.
I don't trust him. We'll find out.
And then this is so crazy. I suppose you could have maybe pieced together that these people were all in the same place because we've seen them all in the snow planet. But we've, of course, the first time we ever saw Kylo Ren was him walking in the forest. Then we saw that he was there fighting John Boyega in the most recent trailer. And now we're seeing that Rey is also there. Looks to be armed with a blaster. And they're all together here on this snow planet.
Yeah, no, she does not have her staff for once. Has a blaster that looks like it might be a First Order Stormtrooper blaster. But clearly we have a lot of questions about what happens here exactly, since we know that it looks like Kylo Ren and Finn are going to have a lightsaber battle in this scene. But where is Rey while that's happening? There's footage in the trailers of Rey crying over a figure in the snow. Lots of speculation about who she's crying over. Is that person injured? Is that person dead? So now that we know she's in present for this fight, you gotta wonder, is this maybe Finn's first time. My guess is this might be Finn and Kylo Ren fight maybe halfway through the movie. I just keep thinking that they're probably hiding a lot of this movie from us, even as we're saying they're showing too much. I feel like there might be a whole back half we're not seeing anything of. So I think, you even see in the trailer how Finn is very uneasy once Kylo Ren lights that.
He's like, oh shoot.
Yeah. So I think this might be the first time they fight, and it might not go so well for Finn.
And maybe that's who she's crying over. Like, he gets his butt kicked by Kylo Ren, and she's just crying over his body.
Yeah, crying over him, but, he'll get into some Bacta, and,
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
He'll come back for round 2 later.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, we're going to find out all the answers to all this speculation in just a few weeks.
Yes. So, of course, yes, this is more Star Wars stuff, and we are analyzing it to death, but we just can't wait for this movie. We're all so excited. We all just want to speculate. But, yes, we will soon know everything for The Force Awakens when it hits next month. And for everything Star Wars then and beyond, keep it here on IGN.